Jemima was going to be married this August, and by the very day was fixed. It was to be on the 14th. On the evening of the 13th, Ruth was sitting alone in the parlour, idly gazing out on the darkening shadows in the little garden. Her eyes kept filling with quiet tears, that rose, not for her own isolation from all that was going on of bustle and preparation for the morrow's event, but because she had seen how Miss Benson had felt that she and her brother were left out from the gathering of old friends in the Bradshaw family. As Ruth sat, suddenly she was aware of a figure by her. She started up, and in the gloom of the apartment she recognised Jemima. In an instant they were in each other's arms, a long, fast embrace. "Can you forgive me?" whispered Jemima in Ruth's ear. "Forgive you? What do you mean? What have I to forgive? The question is, can I ever think of you as I long to do, if I could find words? Oh, Ruth, how I hated you once! It was all the more noble in you to stand by me as you did. You must have hated me when you knew how I was deceiving you all." "No, that was not it that made me hate you. It was before that. Oh, Ruth, I did hate you." They were silent for some time, still holding each other's hands. Ruth spoke first. "And you are going to be married to morrow?" "Yes," said Jemima, "to morrow at 9 o'clock. But I don't think I could have been married without coming to wish Mr Benson and Miss Faith good bye." "I will go for them," said Ruth. "No, not just yet. I want to ask you one or two questions first. Nothing very particular. Only it seems as if there had been such a strange, long separation between us. Ruth," said she, dropping her voice, "is Leonard stronger than he was? I was so sorry to hear about him from Walter. But is he better?" asked she, anxiously. "Yes, he is better. Not what a boy of his age should be," replied his mother, in a tone of quiet but deep mournfulness. "Oh, Jemima!" continued she, "my sharpest punishment comes through him. To think of what he might have been, and what he is." "But Walter says he is both stronger in health, and not so nervous and shy." Jemima added the last words in a hesitating and doubtful manner, as if she did not know how to express her full meaning without hurting Ruth. "He does not show that he feels his disgrace so much. I cannot talk about it, Jemima. My heart aches so about him. But he is better," she continued, feeling that Jemima's kind anxiety required an answer at any cost of pain to herself. "He is only studying too closely now. He takes to his lessons evidently as a relief from thought. He is very clever, and I hope and trust, yet I tremble to say it, I believe he is very good. You must let him come and see us very often when we come back. We shall be 2 months away. We are going to Germany, partly on Walter's business. Ruth, I have been talking to papa to night, very seriously and quietly, and it has made me love him so much more, and understand him so much better." "Does he know of your coming here? I hope he does," said Ruth. "Yes. Not that he liked my doing it at all, but somehow I can always do things against a person's wishes more easily when I am on good terms with them. That's not exactly what I meant. But now, to night, after papa had been showing me that he really loved me more than I ever thought he had done, for I always fancied he was so absorbed in Dick he did not care much for us girls, I felt brave enough to say that I intended to come here and bid you all good bye. He was silent for a minute, and then said I might do it, but I must remember he did not approve of it, and was not to be compromised by my coming. Still, I can tell that, at the bottom of his heart, there is some of the old kindly feeling to Mr and Miss Benson, and I don't despair of its being made up, though perhaps I ought to say that mamma does." "Mr and Miss Benson won't hear of my going away," said Ruth, sadly. "They are quite right." But I am earning nothing. I cannot get any employment. I am only a burden and an expense." "Are you not also a pleasure? And Leonard, is he not a dear object of love? It is easy for me to talk, I know, who am so impatient. Oh, I never deserved to be so happy as I am. You don't know how good Walter is. I used to think him so cold and cautious. But now, Ruth, will you tell Mr. and Miss Benson that I am here? There is signing of papers, and I don't know what to be done at home, and when I come back I hope to see you often, if you'll let me." Mr. and Miss Benson gave her a warm greeting. Sally was called in, and would bring a candle with her, to have a close inspection of her, in order to see if she was changed. She had not seen her for so long a time, she said. And Jemima stood laughing and blushing in the middle of the room, while Sally studied her all over, and would not be convinced that the old gown which she was wearing for the last time was not one of the new wedding ones. The consequence of which misunderstanding was, that Sally, in her short petticoats and bedgown, turned up her nose at the old-fashioned way in which Miss Bradshaw's gown was made. But Jemima knew the old woman, and rather enjoyed the contempt for her dress. At last she kissed them all, and ran away to her impatient Mr Farquhar, who was awaiting her. Not many weeks after this, the poor old woman, whom I have named as having become a friend of Ruth's during Leonard's illness 3 years ago, fell down and broke her hip bone. It was a serious, probably a fatal injury for one so old, and as soon as Ruth heard of it, she devoted all her leisure time to old Anne Fleming. Leonard had now outstripped his mother's powers of teaching, and Mr Benson gave him his lessons, so Ruth was a great deal at the cottage both night and day. There Jemima found her one November evening, the second after their return from their prolonged stay on the Continent. She and Mr Farquhar had been to the Bensons, and had sat there some time; and now Jemima had come on just to see Ruth for 5 minutes, before the evening was too dark for her to return alone. She found Ruth sitting on a stool before the fire, which was composed of a few sticks on the hearth. The blaze they gave was, however, enough to enable her to read, and she was deep in study of the Bible, in which she had read aloud to the poor old woman until the latter had fallen asleep. Jemima beckoned her out, and they stood on the green just before the open door, so that Ruth could see if Anne awoke. "I have not many minutes to stay, only I felt as if I must see you. And we want Leonard to come to see all of our German purchases, and hear all our German adventures. May he come to morrow?" "Yes, thank you. Oh, Jemima, I have heard something. I have got a plan that makes me so happy. I have not told any one yet. But Mr Wynne, the parish doctor, you know, has asked me if I would go out as a sick nurse. He thinks he could find me employment." "You, a sick nurse?" said Jemima, involuntarily glancing over the beautiful lithe figure and the lovely refinement of Ruth's face as the light of the rising moon fell upon it. "My dear Ruth, I don't think you are fitted for it." "Don't you?" asked Ruth, a little disappointed. "I think I am; at least, that I should be very soon. I like being about sick and helpless people. I always feel so sorry for them; and then I think I have the gift of a very delicate touch, which is such a comfort in many cases. And I should try to be very watchful and patient. Mr Wynne proposed it himself." "It was not in that way I meant you were not fitted for it. I meant that you were fitted for something better. Why, Ruth, you are better educated than I am." "But if nobody will allow me to teach, for that is what I suppose you mean. Besides, I feel as if all my education would be needed to make me a good sick nurse." "Your knowledge of Latin, for instance?" said Jemima, hitting, in her vexation at the plan, on the first acquirement of Ruth she could think of. "Well," said Ruth, "that won't come amiss. I can read the prescriptions." "Which the doctors would rather you did not do." Still, you can't say that any knowledge of any kind will be in my way, or will unfit me for my work." "Perhaps not; but all your taste and refinement